Hello, everyone. This is Abhay Agarwal from Piper Serica. In today's podcast, I thought we will do something more interesting than our normal podcasts that talk about the markets and what we are looking to buy, what is interesting us. I think as investors, we are always making choices of not only what to buy, but by design, what not to buy or what not to invest in. And while a lot of investors, fund managers like me spend a lot of time talking about why we are investing in something, I think very little time is spent on why we are not buying something which we have looked at or why that is not interesting enough for us at that point of time. And these choices reflect in our model portfolio. Uh, we are at times significantly underweight or overweight different sectors compared to our benchmark index. And one such sector that we have been heavily underweight on for last 3 years is Indian IT services. Now, if you look at it, the Indian IT services companies from mid 90s, especially towards late 90s, grew and grew so rapidly that they created massive wealth for shareholders. But this pace has slowed down. This pace has slowed down, especially over the last 3 years, since the advent of new technologies like artificial intelligence, generative AI, and the other tools that are available for companies that are solving the same problem in a more efficient way. So, what happened to the Indian IT services industry? Why has it lost its mojo? Where is it headed? We saw this problem emerge 2 years back. And if you go back to the genesis of Indian IT services industry, you have to go back right up to year 2000 Y2K, where just for the simple work of making sure that the world doesn't come to a standstill on the year 2000, December 31, 2000, the Indian IT services industries companies make huge headway into the Western large customers for just checking the code. And if you go back and look, it was very labor intensive job. People had to sit, go through code line by line. There were no AI tools available then, which which seems ludicrous right now, but that was the case in year 2000. And as a result, there was huge employment opportunity for Indian graduates coming out of good colleges, skilled in English, and could read this code and fix it wherever required. And as a result, that created beachhead for Indian companies like Infosys, TCS, Wipro, at that point of time, Satyam, Tech Mahindra, to hire a very large number of young people and make them coders, then grow them into the role of middle management, project managers, and then further on and give them a very good career. And some of them ended up in sales roles and then became group heads and rose to the rank of CEO. Uh, but I think this party came to an end. This whole thing about labor arbitrage, that we will do 90% of work in India, so save on cost of labor, and do maybe 10% of work on site through H1B visas. And it was a very smooth business. And for some reason, Indian government decided to give tax breaks to these companies for a very long period of time. So all the profits that these companies were making were tax free and went back into the company to support further growth. However, since then, many things happened that went against this industry. First of all, their earnings start getting taxed. Secondly, the same coders grew into middle management and became senior management and could not get out of this mindset of project management, fixed cost, labor arbitrage, time and material based billing, and lack of innovation. So where we are now, over the last 3 years, we have seen things get worse. And that is the reason that we don't have any IT services company in our model portfolio for last 3 years. And we are happy because if you see the IT services stocks, leading stocks like TCS, Infosys, have significantly underperformed the benchmark, have significantly underperformed our portfolio performance. And seeing what we are seeing, we have no plans to add any of these companies to our portfolio right now. A large segment of the market still sees them as value buying opportunity, but we see them as value traps. The reason being that these companies are not innovating. They are very focused on returning a large part of their earnings back to shareholders through buybacks and dividends. In some cases, even as much as 65%, 70% of annual earnings are given back to shareholders rather than going and building innovative products. Forget foundational models. None of these companies have even small learning models. Forget LLMs. Even SLMs are not there. And the whole old business of application development is being done through AI companies in a much better manner. And the customers, most importantly, are refusing to pay fixed price cost that is based on a time and material based model. So they want a solution. And I think there is a large new set of companies in the US, in Europe, that are providing these solutions using AI tools rather than manual labor. So the problem is that Indian IT services companies right now are becoming lesser and lesser competitive every day, and that has started reflecting in their growth. So most of these companies are now guiding for a 2-3% annual growth over next 1 year. And at the same time, the margins are under pressure because of higher costs as they have to keep paying their senior management people more and more. And I think that the last straw that is going to break the camel's back is the retrenchment that has started. TCS recently announced laying off of 12,000 middle management, and I think other companies will follow suit. But this laying off is not going to fix the problem. The core problem at this is that these companies are not innovative. So they need to go back to the drawing board. The senior management has to probably change their thinking, move away from services, look at products that are innovative, that require capital support. They should start working more with innovative startups. With that is something that they're not doing right now. So I think a lot of things need to change with these IT services companies, and we hope they do because we would like to invest in them at the right time when we see that innovation picking up. So hopefully in next 1 year, we will see some dramatic changes in the approach of these companies in their management. And once we see that, I think that would be a good time for investors like us to relook at these companies. As of now, despite the price correction, despite the valuation correction, these companies are largely value traps. So we thought we will share our thesis about why we do not have IT services companies in our portfolio with our investors. And if you have any further questions, this is a topic which is very dear to our heart. We'll be happy to talk to you more about it and discuss this and learn from your experiences also. So thank you very much for your time.